Hello everybody. Today is the last video for exponential functions, and in this video we're going to be writing an equation from a graph and also 2 points. We're going to start with an example. Write the equation of the function shown in the graph. So just looking at this graph, you can see that 2 points are listed. It's a curve, so let's write some stuff down. You know that if it's a straight line, to use y equals mx plus b. Since this is not a straight line, we're not going to use y equals mx plus b. We're going to use y equals a times b raised to the power x. Alright, now it always helps me to rewrite this into a table. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write my first point, x is 0, y is 7. When x is 1, we don't know what y is. Same for 2. But when x is 3, y is 56. Now the trick here is, how do we find the multiplier? Because we can't use our shortcuts we've used so far. However, we can find out what the y-intercept is, right? It's 7. Alright, so when we make our equation, it's going to be y equals 7 times something, so leave it as b raised to the power x. So I like to say leave b alone. And now what we're going to do is plug in 3, 56. X is 3 and y is 56. So if we have our equation y equals 7 times b to the power x, it becomes 56 equals 7 times b, leave b, leave it alone, raised to the power 3. Alright, we're going to divide both sides by 7. 7 times b to the power 3. So in order to undo multiplication by 7, you divide by 7. And that's going to be 8 equals b to the power 3. And what number raised to the third power is equal to 8? That's 2, right? 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So that's 2 to the power 3. So what does that say about our multiplier? b equals 2. Now another way you could have done that, some people don't like that way, that's called the looking inside method. If you have b to the power 3 equals 8, in order to solve for b, you can take the cube root on each side. The cube root and raised to the power 3 cancel each other out, leaving b equals the cube root of 8. And the cube root of 8 is 2. So you have two different ways to find your multiplier there. We have option number 1 and option number 2. Either way, we have our equation. It's y equals a, which is 7, times b, which is 2, raised to the power x. And then to check your work, you can make sure it matches the table. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 times 2 is 28. And 28 times 2 is 56. Check. Next example. Write the equation for the exponential function that passes through the points 0, 8 and 2, 2. So now we have 2 points, and we know it's an exponential function because it says so. So we need to use the exponential equation. Y equals a times b raised to the power x. I like to put my points in a table to keep myself organized. Our first point has an x-coordinate of 0 and a y-coordinate of 8. When x is 1, we don't know what 1 is, or we don't know what y is. And when x is 2, y is also 2. Now since we don't have a graph this time, let's plug in 0, 8 into our y equals a times b raised to the power x. X is 0, and y is 8. So I'm going to replace y with 8 equal sign a times b raised to the power x, where x is 0. Now if you remember, anything to the power 0, that's just 1. So b to the power 0 is 1. And this is good news because a times 1 is just a. Any number times 1 is itself. So we just found our a. I'm going to go ahead and start writing my equation. Y equals a, which is 8, times... Okay, now we need our multiplier. 8 times something. We can't really follow the pattern because there's blank or missing entries. So now what we can do is plug in 2, 2. Alright, so our x is now 2, and our y is now 2. So we can plug those in for x and y, and we get 2 equals, we know what a is 8, times b, and then raised to the power 2, and again, a reminder to leave b. Okay, we're going to divide both sides by 8. We can undo multiplication by 8 using division by 8. And we get 2 over 8 equals b to the power 2. 2 and 8 can be reduced because we can divide the top and bottom by 2. 2 goes into itself 1 time, 8 goes into it. 2 goes into 8 4 times. So we have 1 over 4 equals b squared. Alright, at this point, in order to get rid of the square and just get b alone, take the square root of each side. Square and square root are going to cancel, leaving just b. Now the square root of 1 over 4, you can find that by taking the square root of the top and the square root of the bottom. Square root of 1 is itself 1, and the square root of 4 is 2. So our multiplier, or b value, is 1/2. We can finish writing our equation now. Y equals 8 times 1/2 raised to the power x. Okay, so 8, just checking our work, 8 times 1/2 is 4, and 4 times 1/2 is 2. Okay, looks like we're good. Thanks everybody.